Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a project. If you've watched my videos, you've seen my smoker um, and my solar panel. I'm having issues with the solar panel, so if you go back and have a look, I may have posted a new video on that. It's not going to be up anytime in the immediate future, but it will be up soon. Um, this is going to be a stand for this little mini fridge. It's a little short right now. It's very difficult to get things out of the bottom of it. Just open it up here and let you have a look. See, if you're trying to reach stuff on the bottom or stuff on the door here, it's kind of difficult bending over. I don't have very good knees. I'm going to raise it up so it's fairly level with the top of this freezer over here. That'll mean it comes up about 2 feet or so. So let's head outside and I'll show you my shop and we'll get building. Alright, this is my shop. A little bit of a mess right now, but shouldn't be a big deal. Maybe we're working right here, so I got a nice open space. Basically what I want to show you guys today is that you don't need expensive tools and high-tech knowledge in order just to build something. All I got here today, I'm using this cheap scrap metal. Basically, I found it at the side of the road. I have a few pieces here, and that should be enough. If not, I have a couple more back there. But the only thing that I'll be using today that has any significant expense behind it is my welder. It's a MIG welder, runs on 120 volts, 110 volts in fact. But you know what, you don't need that. All you really need is a decent drill, a nice Mastercraft hammer drill I have. And even that is pretty much too much power for this. Just drill it, put some bolts through it. That'll do just as well as welding, and probably better if you have no idea what you're doing. But other than that, using my hacksaw, I do have a grinder. It's in that little blue box there underneath the paper. But you know what? I'm going to show you guys how to do this without power tools other than the welder. So I'll get some of these cut up into the proper lengths and I'll be back. Just a quick note before I go any further. You always want to make sure you're wearing nice gloves when you're cutting, and of course your goggles. You don't want to damage your eyes, and you don't want to fuck up your hands either. It's just smart. Alright, we have our welding equipment all set up here. I'm just going to, I just laid it out so I can show you what's going to happen here. I have the welder. It feeds this wire. Probably can't see it through that lens. It feeds that wire over here to our gun, which creates an electrical current traveling through the metal into our other connection here, back into the welder. I have the gloves, I have the helmet, and little magnets here. I'll show you what they're for in a minute. If you're MIG welding, which is metal inert gas, which is what this is, although I have no gas on this at the moment, it creates light that is 4 times brighter than the sun. Without this helmet, there is a very good potential you could go blind. So it's very important to have. This one in particular, make sure you can see it, is auto darkening, which means when I put it on, it basically looks like I'm looking through a pair of really dark sunglasses. But once that light hits this little panel on the top, it auto darkens. It goes down to, what do I have it set for now? It goes down to 11. And if you have no idea what 11 is, let's just say it's dark. If you had this on, you could look straight into the sun. The gloves, of course, when you're working with molten metal, you always want something. These aren't technically welder's gloves, but I mean, I'm working on a budget here, and they work well enough for me. And the magnets. Show you what the magnets do. Take the magnet. It's got a 90-degree corner on it. So you just pop it in the corner, and now you have your 90 degrees. I can just put a little weld on that, and it ain't going nowhere. So, without further ado, I will shut this off so I don't damage the camera with the welding. I'll be back in 2 seconds to show you my first weld. Alright, as you can see, it's now 1 unit, mostly. I just put a couple tacks in the corners. Now I've got to flip it over. I'm just going to do, not exactly finish welds, but I'm going to make it hold together. It's not going to look pretty, but it'll function. Alright, you can see on these 4 corners that it's all been welded up. Like I said, not pretty, but functional. Now all I got to do, raise it off the ground. Just got to cut a couple pieces that are 2 foot tall. Alright, so I've cut the legs, as you can see. Just tack welded them on. Just temporary. I'm going to put this is actually upside down. This is the bottom. The fridge will be on that side. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some supports around the bottom. That'll strengthen the whole thing up. And I'm going to finish weld everything right now. Alright, so here it is. Pretty much finished welded. It's all put together. The only thing I haven't finished welded, which I'm not sure how I missed it, was these bottom corners here. But you know what? I might even just skip that because I welded the inside corner. Now, I'm going to add something that I think you guys will appreciate. Right, except for just putting a little paint on it, touching it up a bit, I'm finished. The last piece that I had to put on that I was talking about a second ago, is this little thing here. There you have it. Fill that up. The 12 pack or whatever. You don't have to go hunting for your half empty cases.